Now for the Obama news that I was obviously chomping at the bit to get to. Okay, so we talked last week about his big birthday party. Of course, people were getting uncomfortable because Delta variant surging. We're getting all this guidance from the CDC about, oh, we shouldn't have big gatherings. We should all be wearing masks, et cetera. Now, personally, I think if you're vaccinated, go out and live your life. I think, honestly, like the risk of the Obama birthday party being some sort of super spreader event, given that almost everybody there was probably vaccinated, given that they were doing testing in advance or whatever, like the safety thing is not my concern. What I think is interesting is, this is a guy who promised to be different. He promised to be a different sort of politician. He came in, the hope and change, that messaging, et cetera, et cetera. Turns out he's just like everybody else. He just used his office to like make himself rich and famous. And now he's cashing in on the benefits of that wealth and that fame with his 60th party. But what was really interesting here is after the backlash over this gigantic, multi-100 person event, they decided, or at least they told the press, that they decided to scale this thing back. So some people, and this is, going to be star-studded, and Pearl Jam was supposed to be there, and Beyonce and all these people. So the people they apparently decided to cut from the invite list, which they described as we're just going to keep it small and friends and family. First of all, it still appeared to have been a multi-100 person affair, so very large gathering still. But the ones that got left off the list were like the people who, David Axelrod, the people that worked for him in his administration, who got him elected in the first place, were the ones that got cut from the list. And they still kept on Jay-Z and Beyonce and all of these, Chrissy Teigen and John Legend and Dwayne Wade and Stephen Colbert. Even a Real Housewives of Atlanta star Kim Fields was apparently kept on the list, but the people who actually helped him get to office were chopped off. I think we have a tear sheet from the New York Times that reported on the Obama guest list. And it says a lot to me, Kyle, about who this person is, that, this is what you would do after you've been in office, that this is the people you would choose to like keep in and push out the ones who actually helped you achieve this position of status and power. So I thought it was pretty revealing.
Yeah, so I have a bunch of stuff to say about this. On the COVID angle, I do think that's a little bit hacky, if I'm being honest with everybody. Everybody harping away on the COVID angle. I get the hypocrisy point of like, all these liberal outlets are harping away on how it's still a threat, and then here's the quintessential liberal elite who's doing the exact thing that they're warning against. I get the hypocrisy angle, but I do think overall that conversation, I tend to agree with what you said there, which is like, they're vaccinated, they're going to do whatever they want to do. Breakthrough infections among vaccinated are such tiny percentage.
And even when they get it, the number that are hospitalized is like next to nothing, and the number who die is like even more next to nothing.
Yeah,
so your risk is very low.
Infinitesimally small. Yes, if you're vaccinated, you're pretty much going to be all right.
Yeah.
So that angle's not the thing that intrigues me. The thing that intrigues me is, yes, he is fulfilling every single stereotype of the out-of-touch liberal elite. And the thing that popped in my mind as I looked at the specifics of the story, it's The Great Gatsby. Because it strikes me that Obama, it's honestly, and maybe I'm reading too much into it, you guys can come after me over that, I don't really care, but it strikes me like this is the kind of person who has no real friends. That he has the friends that are other elites in these elite circles, and he feels cool talking to Dwayne Wade and talking to Beyonce and talking to Jay-Z and surrounding himself with these people. Has he connected on any real deep human level with any of these people that he invited to his party? Or is it almost like, it's for the trophy case. It's you take all the pictures, you see yourself with all the celebrities, and they're doing the exact same fucking thing with him. Oh my God, I got to party with the president. The president's such a cool person and down-to-earth person. It sort of is really empty and it's really hollow. And in a sense, it's sort of the exact opposite of what I try to do in my life, where I have like a small number of friends, but I'm really, really close with those friends. His is like, let me try to get as many friends as humanly possible who are other elites and not really get close with any of them. And it reminds me of, remember the first time he was in the news after his presidency? Because it was giving $400,000 speeches to Wall Street.
I was thinking it was partying with Richard Branson.
And that's the other thing.
That came to mind.
It was parasailing with Richard Branson, which is somehow even more grotesque when you say the words.
Right.
So Yeah, that is like quintessential Obama. You get the sense that like he thinks, well, I put in my time, I did what I could do, and then now it's like I'm just checking out of everything. You get the sense he doesn't even really think about politics or talk about politics anymore.
The only time you see him like come into play is when it's Bernie Sanders or someone is gonna actually do something good. This is the point that Irony makes.
That's right.
Is like,
yes.
And by the way, shameless plug, we had Irony on Krystal, Kyle and Friends last week, and he talked about Obama. It was a great interview. I mean, this guy is really just a fascinating thinker, but he's basically like, look, Obama's whole job now is to protect his legacy. And what is his legacy really? His legacy is 8 years of telling people what's not possible.
Right.
Of convincing people, he uses the word confusing people on what the fight is, confusing people on what their government can actually do for them. Because what is he goes around and says, Obamacare is the best we could do. The best we could do.
His words were.
It's still terrible. Yeah, there's still problems. We loved it, but this was the absolute most we could do. So if you have someone who's going to come in and be like, no, actually, we could get everybody health care, he doesn't want to hear that. That's very damaging for him and his fame and his power, his prestige, and all of that stuff. And that's fundamentally where his interests lie.
Bernie was, in the words of Irony, Bernie was not me, us. Obama was me.
Right.
And
that's what this party is.
I mean, that's accurate. That's exactly what it is. And now he feels like if you get a transformative figure, if you get a new FDR, if you get a Bernie Sanders type in there, and they actually deliver even on 10% of the things that they want to deliver on, then yeah, it makes Obama look like a hacky clone of Bill Clinton.
Right.
Because he is a hacky clone of Bill Clinton, and his whole job is, yeah, this is what's not possible, and I'm sorry, but it's just realpolitik to take the Wall Street money and take the corporate money and do the bidding of the corporations and just do some tweaks around the edges.
Yeah. Listen, cry me a river for the Obama administration officials who got cut off the guest list and didn't get to go to the fancy party, but it is kind of messed up. And apparently they were really caught by surprise. This is from that New York Times article that Jay-Z and Beyonce are in, and they're watching the press coverage and the tabloid coverage, whatever, and they're cut off the list. It says they'd been looking forward to this reunion after an isolated year. They credit themselves with helping create that Obama legacy that has allowed the former president to settle in so comfortably with the A-list crowd. And they were left having to watch it, on the TV and through the tabloids like the rest of us. There were some photos. People weren't supposed to take photos, but some people did and posted them. I think Erykah Badu was actually there and posted some photos, et cetera. There you can
And then
see.
They were told to delete them, by the way.
And then they were made to delete them. So New York Post, of course, grabbed it. I think TMZ also had a write-up. And there were a couple things here to the COVID hypocrisy angle. First of all, as I was alluding to, they spun to the press like, oh, we're going to pair this back. This is just going to be close friends and family. Does that look like close friends and family to you? Number one. Number two, they were like, it's all outdoors. But then we saw the pictures too. It was like
in a tent.
Enclosed tent.
Right.
Like one of those big plastic tents that's closed in. So again, do I think that this is going to be some super spreader event? We should be freaking out or there's any real danger? No, I don't. But I do think that they spun the press magnificently, and by and large, the press basically took the bait.
Well, yeah, because they love Obama.
Absolutely.
So that's what they're going to do. They love the guy, and so they're going to cover for him, and totally expected in every way. I just wish that there was, I wish that you had more of an adversarial media that was against the Democrats and the Republicans, frankly, and that would tell you the truth about what all of them are doing. Because Obama, in context, really is that $400,000 Wall Street speech that he gave immediately after he left office. And the reason why they paid him that money to give that speech is because he served them while he was president.
Yes,
he bailed out Wall Street.
He was there right at the moment when it was a pivot point.
That's right.
We really needed a pivot on climate. We needed a pivot on the fate of the working class.
Regulation of Wall Street, yes.
On trade deals, on privatization, on deregulation, all these things we needed desperately. That was the time right after the financial collapse. And he completely failed. I mean, he did the bidding of Wall Street, bailed them out, left homeowners to starve and dry up on the vine. And it's no accident that then you get Donald Trump and end up where we are today. And is it 100% his blame or anything, his fault or anything like that? No. But it happened that you elected this supposedly transformational figure at a moment when the nation really, really, really needed a transformational figure. And you had control of both houses of Congress. You had a supermajority in the Senate, and you just let all of that basically be squandered. Why? Because you didn't want to piss off the A-list elite set. You wanted to be able to have this 60th birthday party that you had this weekend. So congratulations, Mr. President. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching.
That's right. Just as a reminder, you can become a premium subscriber today. Watch the full show completely uncut, our reactions to each other's monologues. You get to listen to it. You get to ask us questions, all that good stuff. Link is right there in the description or at breakingpoints.com.
Best of all, great way to say screw you to the mainstream media.